You wanted the best. You've got the best podcast. The hottest podcast in the world. The Chris Voss Show, the preeminent podcast with guests so smart you may experience serious brain bleed. The CEOs, authors, thought leaders, visionaries, and motivators. Get ready. Strap yourself in. Keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the vehicle at all times, because you're about to go on a monster education roller coaster with your brain. Now, here's your host, Chris Voss.
Hi, folks. It's Voss here from thechrisvossshow.com. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the big show. We certainly appreciate you guys being here. As always, we're bringing the most smartest minds, the people that improve your lives and your quality of your lives with all their journeys, their stories of life, and everything else. Refer the show to your family, friends, and relatives. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, linkedin.com/Chris Voss, Chris Voss one on the TikTok, any of all those crazy places on the internet. Today, we're joined by Melissa McKenzie. She is a talented website developer and owner of Carbon and Clay. She has made her mark with her budget-friendly Squarespace templates designed for service-based businesses, infused with strategic insights that convert websites into 24/7 client-generating machines. She's also a mom of 5, runs her successful business in just a few hours a day. She'll share with us how you can transform your website from a static brochure into your best salesman in discussing essential elements for maximizing online presence. Welcome to the show, Melissa. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks so much for having me.
There you go. Thanks for coming. We really appreciate it. Give us your .co's, .coms, wherever you want people to find you on the interwebs.
You can find me at carbonandclay.co.
Mm-hmm.
Don't type in .com. It's not me. And then on Instagram, we're on Carbon and Clay.
There you go. So give us a 30,000 overview of what you guys do there at the company.
Yeah. So I decided about 3.5 years ago, I was doing all custom website work. And I saw that there was a hole in the industry where there was a lot of service-based businesses that needed a website that worked for them, but they didn't necessarily have the budget right off the start of their business to hire a web designer that was going to cost them $5,000 plus. Mm-hmm. So I got into the template game so that I can create affordable strategic websites for people that are just starting off, or people that are not necessarily really, like, maybe they're shifting in their business and they know that they don't want to totally redo their site with a website designer and revisit it in a few years or 6 months. So I started Squarespace templates that bring all of that strategy to the template, so you know what to put and where to put it on your website. There
you go. And so let's lay a foundation. What is Squarespace?
Squarespace is a platform that you can build a website on. It's kind of like WordPress. There's a whole bunch out there, Wix, WordPress. Squarespace is one of them. And it's crazy how the website world has changed since college. It used to be all coding. And nowadays anyone can make a website. All you have to do is put your content in, and places like Squarespace or WordPress develops it for you.
There you go. And so I just like to define these things, because there's sometimes people out in the audience that don't fully understand how these things work. How do templates, these things that you work on and help people with, how do they work with the Squarespace?
So it just kind of speeds up the process. So not only is it a design that is designed by a designer, it looks good, it also helps you know what to put on each page, so that you're really guiding the user to where you want them to go. Okay.
So it kind of drops in there and basically kind of builds a website for you, so you don't have to sit there and type out code or pay the $5,000 to have somebody type out a bunch of code.
Exactly. Yeah.
Makes it so it's kind of drop, play, and you can put the different pieces in there and put it together.
Yep. You swap out images, swap out the content to yours, and can launch in hours.
There you go. Instead of waiting a year to build a website, which can
exactly.
Happen. Yep. Yeah. And it makes it so much easier. Plus the colors, and kind of the formats of how pictures and the website looks and stuff. You can choose between all those different things. Now, do you guys have pre-built ones people can buy, or do you custom make them for each person?
We have pre-built ones. So that's what our shop is all about, the affordable Squarespace website templates. We also do done for you. So we can take one of our templates and we can customize it for you.
Oh.
We still do custom website work, but a lot of our clients are finding that they don't necessarily need to spend 5,000 plus on a website, and that the templates are exactly what they need.
Ah, there you go. So what are, if I'm out there in the audience going, I'm thinking about starting a business or I have a little business. What are the prospective people out there that might be good for doing this?
If you are a service-based business, that's what our templates are kind of curated for. So it's meant to kind of display your services, give a summary of them, sales pages. It's perfect for the person who's either starting off or they want to maybe revamp their site. Maybe their site's like really old and they know it's maybe not mobile friendly or it's just outdated content. They have new offerings. It's going to be a really faster process to start with a template than to kind of mess around with that on your own.
There you go. And yeah, if you've got an older site, maybe it needs a little bit of updating. Maybe it's not too consumer friendly. Sometimes have a nice lean landing page that's very clean and has the quick data on it. Sometimes that can be better, I think. Is that right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think that when you think about how you look at a website and how you experience them on your own, if you lay it on a site that has like 16 gazillion links at the top, you're going to exit out and you're going to find somewhere else because it's just too overwhelming. And so a simple navigation, I like to say 4 to 6 links at the top. And it really kind of helps people find the information they're looking for quickly.
There you go. I mean, yeah, if there's too much there and it's overwhelming or there's too many options, you can have what they call, I guess, a high bounce rate. Is that right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And what does that mean?
So the bounce rate is when someone is on your site and they are not looking at any of the other pages. They are just exiting. So if you have a high bounce rate, it's not great.
Not great because they come in and they go, oh my God, this looks like a mess. I'm out. Bye.
Yep.
See you.
Yep.
And usually they only have like seconds to capture people's attention. And so that's why it's important to have like, a good look. We do WordPress on our sites and, we use templates. So I've had for all these years and they're so easy to use because you just drop them in and like, you just change the titles and the fonts and stuff. And maybe you do a little bit of editing, but for the most part, it's like boom. And it, about 5 seconds, you can have a site that looks like a newspaper or, a professional site, or if it's a photography thing, you can just drop it right in. So it works really well. Would you recommend it for people that are, mom or pop or anybody out there who's thinking of, maybe selling some stuff that they make or there's a lot of Etsy type people out there. Maybe there's service like coaching. There's a few coaches out there. Maybe a site for coaching would be good for some of the things that you're doing.
Yeah. So we've had a lot of coaches that use our templates. They're great for coaches, influencers, great for digital product course creators. Squarespace has its own like e-commerce platform. So whether you have physical or digital products, it works really well for that. Podcasting, you can use the blog section and blog right within Squarespace. Etsy shop owners, it would be really great to have your own site. And the reason is because it's more SEO friendly. You can create content on your site to be searchable on Google, and people can find you not only through Etsy, but through things that your dream clients are searching for.
There you go. Yeah, you want to have a presence on the internet. You've got to have your doorstop out there, your little platform out there, so that people can find it and be part of it. And of course, being able to quickly set up business, you just go to GoDaddy or .com service provider and set up and off you go. We'll circle back to this, but tell us how you got into this. What were some of the influences? Did you Were you what were the proponents that made you get into this online business?
Well, I was kind of thrown into entrepreneurship just with life circumstances.
Mhm.
I could not wait for that office job, wear my high heels to like a nice fancy office. And then a week after I graduated with my graphic design degree, I married my high school sweetheart and we got pregnant with twins right
Oh,
off the bat.
wow.
So I was looking for a way to stay at home with some income. And this was, prior to COVID, there wasn't remote jobs like there are today.
Yeah.
And so I started with freelance graphic design, moved to branding, moved to website design, which I have a website design minor.
Mhm.
And I never thought that I would want to do that because I'm not a big fan of coding. But it has changed so much, like I said, with the platforms that you can build on. Um, and I really wanted to have control over the way that people use their brand,
Mhm.
not just like hand them the elements and see them mess it up. So the website, I was like, this is a place that I can like curate how their brand is used. And so I started doing custom website design. And then, like I said, 3.5 years ago, I was like, you know what? Not everybody needs a custom site
Mhm.
and they take forever. So I was
Yeah.
like, I can just make a template and sell it again and again. And
Yeah.
so that's how, that's
That's
the,
pretty good.
yeah.
And so now you guys really are in the deep business of making templates, and then you kind of have like I think a hybrid where you can either buy just a flat template or you can have the customization done. You've got an online store for that, or you've got setups for like online stores, local businesses, portfolios for photographers, restaurants. There's a lot of restaurants that really need freaking websites, man. It's amazing how many don't have them.
Yeah.
It was worse before COVID.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah.
COVID was
Different.
kind of like everyone's like, oh crap, I need a website.
Yeah, we need to be online because
Yeah.
it's the only way we're going to get business. Different service-based businesses, personal ones, courses. There are a lot of people selling courses now. I'm selling a course on how to sell a course of how to sell a course. Membership sites, so those are good as well. So you can build those out, and you can do everything on there. I think. Do I recall rightly? Does Squarespace help with uh, uh, make it really easy to do service processing of credit cards and things along those lines, or do you have to use a third party vendor for that?
Yeah, they can hook up through third party like PayPal and Stripe,
Mm-hmm.
but they also have their own processing. And Squarespace, I love that it's like an all-in-one platform. You can host your domain there, so you can actually purchase your domain instead of going to GoDaddy or another third party. You can do e-commerce through them, blogging, whatever you need. It's just kind of like all in one. And now they're rolling out invoicing for clients. They have their own email marketing. So it's really kind of everything like a one-stop shop.
Wow, there you go. It makes it so much easier. You know, I came from the days of brick and mortar where you had to buy a license, and if you did anything with the involving state or local government or federal government, you had to get certain licenses and pay lots of money for them, and you had to buy an office and set it up, and you had to buy all the furniture, and then you had to cross your fingers and hope that you could have a successful business that would run.
Yeah. It's
Like, I hope this makes profit after all this money.
yeah, it's so easy to start a business nowadays. Like
Yeah.
so little overhead to run an online business.
Yep. It's so much different. It's like I never thought I would sell stuff around the world, and until online really came online, and it was so weird to be selling stuff to people in all the countries around the world, and I'm like, wow, I never saw this thing coming. I never saw what this the availability of stuff that was out there was just crazy. Now, so people can go on your website. They can look at some of the different examples, I think, and samples of, or they can go into different like what is your site about, and they can guide you through how to build it. I guess.
So the main page on their site is our shop for the templates.
Yeah.
Um,
There you go.
they can also reach out if they wanted it done for them. A lot of times someone will think that they have the time or they have the capacity to start, and then they're like, I just want you to do it for me. So we see a lot of that too. And because our process is just setting up the template for you, it's a lot cheaper than having someone custom make your site. And we do it in 5 days. Actually, we start on a Monday, launch on a Friday, and it's all done for you.
There you go. I was just going to ask you about that, the 5-day turnaround time, so that you can take and do that. And, you know, you can have a 5-page website set up, ready to launch in 5 business days. That's pretty good.
Yeah. We spent years developing our process to make it as streamlined as possible.
That's what you want. You don't want to reinvent the wheel, man. And sometimes when you're starting a business, you know, time is really important. You know, you're spending money. You want to try and get that ROI turned around as quickly as possible so you can get that money back and get some profit going. And so usually you don't have a lot of time to muck around with building websites and stuff. And you can do more than 5 pages if you want. You just work with you guys through that. It says here 2 strategy sessions as well.
Yeah. So we start on Monday with our strategy session, kind of get on the same page with the design, the content, make sure we have everything. The main goal of your website. Obviously, that's different for each industry. And then on Friday, we have another strategy session where we teach you the back end. A lot of times people will come from WordPress and be like, I cannot manage my site. I'm paying someone all the time to just like switch out an image or add a page. And then they switch to us and they're like, that is so easy. Like, and they never have to come back if they don't want to.
Yeah.
They can just easily switch it out themselves. So we teach you the back end on Friday and launch it together.
There you go. That's good to know, is how to master what you're doing. So you got training videos as well that can help people?
Yeah. Each of our templates will come with a customization course, teach you how to switch out the images, make the brand colors and fonts your own, add pages, whatever you need to do.
There you go. And then you make sure that it works for a design on any screen size. So, you know, mobile, you know, different variations. Like I have a 4K screen. Some people have a 1080p screen. Some people have, I don't know, 720p. Does anybody have one? Maybe on a laptop. But yeah, laptops and iPads and tablets and stuff. So you guys make sure that it looks great no matter what it's being viewed on.
Yeah. And that's so important nowadays, because when you think about how we use our phones, like I'm checking email on my phone while I'm waiting for my food at a restaurant. And when I click over to a link, I'm on your site. And if I'm having to like pinch in and zoom in and then scroll over to read like one sentence, people aren't going to do that. And so most of our traffic to our website, everyone's website, is coming through mobile devices nowadays. So it's super important to have that.
You got to be mobile friendly. If it doesn't look good on the Androids and iPhones, it's not going to sell. There's some people that wrote me from one of my groups that I give advice, and I'd written a long post on the website version of Facebook, and they were yelling at me. They're like, you know how hard this is to read on a mobile phone? And I was like, I don't care. Go read it on a website.
I heard that the generation, what are we on? Generation Z, X?
Yeah, there's Z
like
and
most
Alpha.
of them don't even have laptops or desktops anymore. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, that's what's wrong with this world. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. It's actually, you know, why do we really when you think about it? Mainly I need a desktop because I'm old and I have to blow everything up to see what I'm reading anymore. But that, or I have to get out that's my version of the old person's microscope or, you know, magnifying glass where I'm like, what's that share? So there you go. You also help with copywriting. Tell us what copywriting is for those people who don't know, and how you help with that.
Yeah, I see that one of the biggest struggle is they can't make their website look good. But 2, they don't know what to put on each page. They don't know what pages they need. They don't know what goes on each page, and they don't know how to make it sound good or get people to click on what they want them to click on. And so What I help with is I figure out the main goal of your website, whether that's to get views on your sales page, contact you, free discovery call, whatever that is. And I help you create each of the pieces of content for each of your pages and help you write that in a way that's going to convert your traffic.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Everything's about conversion. So you got to not have a high bounce rate. You got to have people read your site. You do a call to action, get them to make that buying decision, hit that buying button or whatever you got going on, and off they go. And so it sounds like it's a real streamlined process you have for people. You can walk them through everything. You can make it so they don't have to go through this huge thing where they have to learn, spend hundreds of hours like you've probably invested in this, thousands maybe. And you don't have to learn how to do something new. You can just get right focused on what you want to focus on, selling your services, products, wares, et cetera, et cetera.
That is the goal.
That's the goal. And then I guess if they sign up with you too, they get 20% off of Squarespace for the first, let's see, what is it, a year?
Yep, the first year.
There you go. That's the deal. So you can get a good deal. I like how they make it all inclusive to where they will sell you the .com. With us, we have everything in a million places on pieces. It's like the .com's over here, and then the website's over, the hosting's over there, and then it's a crazy mess. Which we're just surprised the site keeps working. So, no, I've learned the hard way how to run these sites over 15, 16 years and be really good at them, because when they go down, it's a real pain in the ass to get them back up.
Yeah, so well, it's so different too than it was 15 years ago. It's so much easier than it used to be.
Oh yeah, and things seem much more stable. For a long time there, I would let's update a plugin, and then you're like, the site's down, and it's all broken. And we're like, hey, can we cover that? No.
Yes.
It was the crazy days back in the Wild West of all these site things. But now things are much more balanced. What have we talked about that is part of the work that you do and offering you do to help people?
Did you say what have we not talked about?
Yeah, what have we missed that maybe we should flush out to potential customers out there for you?
I would just say that I would like to bust the myth that your website is just like a landing page to send people to, or like a static brochure, because our website can be converting our traffic into email subscribers. Email marketing is one of the biggest revenue generating things for a business, I would say, in my opinion. And we can be taking our organic traffic to our site and our paid traffic and capturing those email addresses in order to further nurture them for sales later on. So I would say starting to think about your website in a way where it is actually working for you to gain leads and sales on autopilot, because it doesn't have to sleep like we do. It's always running in the background. So
that's the beautiful part about these websites is they can run 24/7. They can appeal to international clients, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. And if we have the right things in the right places, we can easily lead them to the next step in the process.
Yeah. I've used templates forever, and they just make things so much easier. You just got this blank site, and you're just like, oh God, what do we got to do? And I have no design skills. I have zero design skills. I'm good at running businesses, but when it comes to pretty, I cannot do pretty at all. I don't know. I'm a guy. But I've always, my offices, when we had lots of brick and mortar offices, you'd walk into them and they were just white walls and just plain. And we threw some pictures up every now and then. But they're just boring. But I go into really nice restaurants, this really cool office buildings, and I see sometimes how people designers have come in or whatever, or maybe they just have a good eye, and they just make stuff look good, and I'm just always so jealous. So if it wasn't for templates, my websites would look awful. They'd just be white and some stark black, and probably no one would buy anything.
Yeah, I mean, that first impression makes such a difference, especially nowadays with how easy it is to make a site and how many sites are out there. It's important to make sure that yours is memorable and they want to stay and it's impressive and it doesn't look homemade.
Yeah, and so you can drop in those pre-made templates, and it's like you go from that black and white, just kind of empty space of too much whiteness, and all of a sudden, boom! It's like, oh wow, it looks like a newspaper. It looks like some site we spent $5,000 on,
Exactly.
and boom, wow, I'd buy from this thing, and that just makes all the difference in the world. So give us your final pitch out to people on how they can onboard with you, how they can reach out to you, how they can find out how to do business with you. Anything else we missed we haven't talked about you want to plug?
Yeah, so you can visit us at carbonandclay.co. You can visit the shop page with all of our templates there and view them. And I also have a coupon code for your listeners.
Oh,
If
wow.
you type in Chris10, you can get 10% off of any of the website templates. And then you can reach out to us on the contact page if you have any questions.
There you go. Chris 10. Check that out, folks. And give us the .coms. I think you just did, right? But shoot us one more time.
carbonandclay.co. And then we're on Instagram, Carbon and Clay.
There you go. And what do you do on Instagram? Do you talk about, kind of walk people what you do, and kind of do the freemium version where you talk about how you do it and why it's important, things like that?
Yeah, we do a lot of behind the scenes. We do a lot of tips and tricks, hacks to make people stay on your website longer, that kind of stuff.
There you go. There you go. Show people how the thing works and the work that goes into it. So thank you very much, Melissa, for coming on the show. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
There you go. And thanks so much for tuning in. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, LinkedIn.com/Chris Voss. Chris Voss won the TikTokity and all those crazy places on the internet. Be good to each other. Stay safe. We'll see you next time.